Hi, this is Jill Bernard from Huge Theater in Minneapolis. I'm going to teach you really quickly how to set up an online improv workshop. You don't have to go through an improv theater, you could just do it yourself. If you wanted to be super professional, you could build a website through Wix.com or another service that you can integrate with PayPal. But this little method I'm going to show you is even lower budget than that. I'm not going to talk to you about what your workshop should be about. This is a free workshop workbook from Laura Dornward Perry. I'll put a link to it, but you can learn what your workshop should be about. We're not going to cover that today. Also, we're not going to cover whether you should teach a workshop. Let the market decide. Okay, great. The first thing I'm going to do is set up a Google form. You'll see over here, I'm just going to go to New. It's under More. It's called Google Forms. And I'm going to name this form Jill's Awesome Workshop. And everyone will sign up. Jill's Workshop. I don't have time to type awesome. Jill's Workshop. This workshop is a cool workshop is what I'm going to put in the description, okay? And then here I'm going to put the first question is just a short answer, name. Ha ha. Then the next one is email. Ha ha. Any special requirements? Or notes, something like that. Sometimes people write you something interesting like, oh, I'm going to be late, and you can make that a paragraph, okay? You may have different questions you want to ask depending on what the workshop is. We won't worry about that right now. There's a couple of settings to be aware of. Up here under the settings, there's a checkbox that says restrict to users in Huge Theater and its trusted organizations. If your Gmail is under an organization, you're going to want to uncheck that to make sure that absolutely everybody can fill out this form. If you choose this box to collect email addresses, that's kind of complicated because then it'll make you limit it. You may decide to make it prettier. That's up to you. You can look up how to do that. Um, that's how to set up the Google form. Then responses. This is going to be where I can see who's responded to my workshop. I find the easiest way is to manage this through a spreadsheet. Up here, you can create a spreadsheet. I'm going to create a new spreadsheet. And then it's going to link, uh-oh, no one signed up for my workshop yet. That's okay. Now with this, there is a way with a plug-in that you can set it up so that it automatically sends responses to the recipients so that they know that they're registered for the workshop, it went okay, it went through, you can send them the information that you need. But in lieu of that, I like to set it up notification rules. I like to set a notification rule. Anytime a user submits a form, I'm going to get an email right away. Or if the workshop's selling like crazy, maybe you want just one email a day. But this will send me an alert that someone signed up for this workshop to help me keep track of how many people there are. I'm going to keep this open because I want to come back in here and add the payment information. So that's step one, is create a Google form. Step two is to make a PayPal button. PayPal has a collection of selling tools. Here's the address of it. I also made a tiny URL so it's quicker for you to find. You're going to want to click this button that says Sell Online, add a checkout button. I think this page might look different for different people, but here's what my page looks like for making a button. I go over here, choose button type. I want to choose buy now. The item name is Jill's Workshop. The price, I'm going to charge everybody $20. No, $30. It says here need multiple prices. You might want to add multiple prices, like if you're giving a special price for seniors or a special price for students or any kind of a different price. You can add a drop down button to do that. It makes it a little more difficult. You don't need shipping. Uh, in Minnesota, we don't need taxes. You may want to check with your own state, right? And then we're going to go to create button. I hit this create button and it's giving me a choice. If I had a website, this website code would be what I use. I this is the quick version. We're not setting up a website, so I'm going to click on this button that says email. It gives me the code for if I just want this. Now that's a clumsy looking code. If I'm putting that directly in an email, I might use tinyurl.com to make this look smaller. Um, so yes, that's the email that I need. That's the link that I need to take people to PayPal. Now, what's weird is that to make that part of my Google form is a little bit complicated. Uh, like that to make a separate link, it doesn't always work really well. So what I'm going to do instead is just put it in. There's a thing to check on over here. We didn't look at it yet. It's the, where is it? It's the presentation, the confirmation message. It's going to give people a confirmation message once they've submitted the form. Once they give you their name and email and special requirements, there's going to be a confirmation message. So I'm going to type, thank you. I got to be polite. Thank you. You will receive a confirmation email within, I'm going to say 24 hours. To pay for this workshop, please go to insert that PayPal link, which I probably might have shortened to make it less hideous if I put it in tinyurl.com. Now let's see. This is so far, I got the form built, and when I want to send this to people, again, I go to here, I click on the link to include, I shorten it, I click on this link, and then the next step would be to make a Facebook event. I'm not going to show you how to do that because it's really annoying. And I bet you can find other resources for how to do it. The recommendation I would have is that you do include a picture of yourself. You can make kind of a nice picture that has the description of the workshop written on there as well, to help people know what it is as they're clicking on it. And then you just share that Facebook event everywhere. Some other places to advertise workshops will really depend on where you live. In our city, there's a website called Minnesota Playlist where they just happen to list a lot of theater training. And if I put something over on there, it gets a lot of hits. Also, Huge Theater has we have a mailing list of our previous students. So if you have other previous students, that's a way to share it. You can also be creative and think about who the class is aimed for. Who do you think will be attending this class? And then the way those people get information is a great way. Emailing other teachers and asking them, hey, can you tell people about my workshop? That's a great way. Yeah, for sure. For sure. There's all kinds of ways to get the word out, and I bet you can figure out what makes sense in your area. Then, okay, so like people are registering for this workshop. They're like, yeah, I'm super excited. I want to take this awesome workshop. I'm going to put in my name. I'm going to put in my email. It's not a real email. No, I'm going to submit this form. When I submit the form, I'm a student. I'm seeing how to pay. Um, I'm going to go here And look, it already filled in this spreadsheet to say the registration was Jill. Here's my email, no special requirements. For myself, I write on here paid and then the date. Like if they did actually take that PayPal step, I go ahead and write that over here and keep track of it that way. I would not mess around with this spreadsheet very much because this spreadsheet is collecting information from the Google form, and if you tinker with it too much, then everything gets in a crazy order. But you can certainly do things like if I go down here, I can make a copy of this sheet. I can duplicate it, and then you can play around with that duplicate, like maybe sort it alphabetically or put people's t-shirts size, or I don't know, whatever you want to do. Please make a copy and don't tamper with this original collection of data. You'd love to have this be clean. If somebody should cancel their registration, uh, I like to just black out this with a like cross them out rather than delete them so that I still have their contact info because maybe they're not interested in this workshop, but I'm going to contact them for the next workshop that I teach. You can just cross that person off and keep track of the roster that way. Then I would, if I had a bunch of these student emails, I would send a confirmation within the 24 hours that I promised to let them know, hey, you registered for Jill's Awesome Workshop. Here's the information that you need. Let me know if you, let me know, viewer, if you want a sample template of what that email looks like, because it's nice to tell them what time the workshop starts, some simple instructions for if they've never used Zoom or whatever platform you happen to be using, and then just some simple instructions for anything that they might need to know to prepare for the class. Like maybe what the class boundaries will be, a little bit more in depth about the subject, anything you need them to know going in. Human nature says you should let them know, you should send them an email when they register and also an email closer to the date, like 1 or 2 days before the workshop, because sometimes workshop things aren't real on people's calendars. We don't know how other people manage time. It's good to give them two opportunities to put it on their calendar and schedule it to come. I don't have time to show you how to set up a Zoom meeting, but actually Zoom.us has really great tutorials on how to do that. The only advice I'll give is don't use your personal ID number. Set up an ID just for the meeting that is the class. Also, if you don't have a pro account, you might be limited to only a 40-minute meeting. I recommend either getting a pro account for 1 month or finding a friendly friend that has a pro account and can make you an authorized user. And you might have to help people get in. There might be people who haven't used Zoom before. So if I were you, I would get into the Zoom call a half hour early or so and agree to meet with anybody who's never used Zoom before. Please, if you have any questions after watching this video, I would love to answer them because really I want you to know that you don't have to go through an improv theater. You could set up a workshop right now. Do it, and it would be fantastic. And maybe people will sign up, maybe they won't, but either way, you gave it a shot. Isn't that nice? Thanks, everybody.